everybody, welcome to the vlog, and today I'm so excited to collab with Romi, the mighty Sing. And our topic today is spiritual narcissism. But before we take off and dive right into it, I am going to give Romi, a lot of you know him anyways, but a little chance to give his story about what it was in his life that took him deeper into spirituality and just finding himself.
So as you can see me, you can tell I'm a Sikh, beard, turban. Our faith is all about, from growing up, we have to be connected to God. We are taught how to pray, worship, be good, do charity, be a good human being, which is kind of the basis of everything. You should all be like that. But that's my groundwork growing up. So I thank my parents for that. And throughout my years growing up, I didn't really care about religion. I cut my hair and beard, which is bad for a Sikh man. And I just lived the life. I built muscle. I had all this ego. And of course, money, cars, all that stuff. Didn't do anything bad though, but just had lots of ego and wanted to show off. And I was in a bad marriage before. When I was going through tough times, I was broke, had lots of debt. I was dependent on my parents for everything, which as a man, it kills you. And so everything was going south. I was in like depression-like state. I don't like the word depressed because it's nothing but it's just a choice. It's a thought state temporarily we're in. And then I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to start drinking or doing drugs because I found it wasn't my thing to do. I never did it. And I wasn't going to commit suicide because I thought it was stupid. But only thing left was to go back to God. So I went to God and cried literally at the Gurdwara. Sat there in the parking lot. My prayers were heard. Through people, I got connected to Gurdwara. So I started going there every day. And when you focus on God, when you focus on the right things, good things happen to you because your mind is in the right place and you're doing it for the right reasons. So then I connected to God and I let go of a lot of bad things over time. I had already given up meat before and my mind was very weak. The mind of ego is always weak. When that goes, you become mentally strong. And that strength is not about being strong. That strength is about letting go and realizing your true potential, which is within you, who you are on the inside. Since then, I've always been doing better things. I stopped showing off. I show muscle to inspire people. Besides that, I don't really care if I get fat or not. And my focus is always on the higher purpose, not material things. And over time, I've always given up like bad language. I always tell her not to use F words. I mean, it's okay, but for me, when you clean your language, it cleans your mind too. So now I see God, I see universe, whatever you want to call it, in everyone. And I don't get too excited when good things happen. I don't get sad when bad things happen. I'm in this state of bliss. Good or bad, I'm here, I'm happy, peaceful.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
Awesome. And I think that's exactly what it is for me as well. It wasn't until, and it was a process for me, a lot of learning and recognizing the ego. And it wasn't until I started recognizing that good or bad, it just is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. When my energy didn't get too excited, spike up too high, or too depressed, and it kind of just looked at the situation like, okay, what can I do? It just is. That's when I started releasing and finding myself and surrendering. Surrendering was a huge part. So here, there's a lot of spiritualists out there.
Yeah.
It seems to be a trend now.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about today is, what do you think about spiritual narcissism? Where does it develop? How do you recognize it? What are your thoughts on it?
So yeah, it's a good trend that people are talking about it. Whether they're pretending or really spiritual, it's a good thing. The mentality of people is shifting from negative to being positive and going above material world. Let's define spiritual narcissism first. What would you say spiritual narcissism is?
For me, oh sorry, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, you
Oh,
explain
okay.
it first.
Sure. So for me, spiritual narcissism is when people are talking and saying things, but they aren't practicing. So it's kind of hearsay. The ego is still very, very high in a narcissist. So, but like you said, they're trying to make that shift, but they're not even aware that they're not there. But yet there's a lot of preaching and a lot of talking like this that happens. That's what I think.
They can get very annoying.
Yeah.
Give us an example of what people say.
They will tell you, like in my own personal experiences, they know everything, and they will tell you how it is and how you need to feel within enlightenment, like what love feels like, where it comes from, how it comes to you. They have a whole bunch of knowledge, but I don't think they've been there or practiced it really.
Yeah. So I think what's happening is there are a lot of people teaching self-development, spirituality. It has become more commercial. Before, you would see, picture a yogi with a beard or a turban sitting in the jungle doing whatever, meditation. So that's like one way of doing it. Now, we have accepted in this Western world, and in this world we want to commercialize everything. We want to productize everything. How to take it, make it into a shortcut and give it to someone, just like a magic pill. Just like weight loss, people always want magic pill. They don't want to work hard.
Yeah.
We're both trainers, so we've been through this, and people who do hard work, they see the results long term. People who want a magic pill, they get short results, and they have enough information to talk about it, but they don't realize it. Share your story when you start seeing this shit.
So for me, the huge shift was, it was actually just a few days ago. I've been working on my ego probably since I was like 18 or 19, but not knowing it. I did not know what ego was back then, but it started forming when I never judged people. That's one thing that I've always had within me. I don't know where it came from, but judgment, even back in high school, I was kind of popular in high school, but I always talked to the geeks. I always talked to the nerds like
I was a geek.
They were real.
I was a high school geek. High school geek.
and I talked to them. It didn't matter. There was no popularity contest with me. So that in high school, then in nursing, same thing. You have to take the patient what they say. You can't think they're lying. You can't judge them. And now, so I've been good at it. And now, this just happened a few days ago. I was in meditation. I came out of meditation and I was connecting with a goddess, Mother Earth, Gaia, and all of a sudden I just started crying for no reason in my meditation room all alone. And as I'm crying, I had this nudge from the back going, what the hell are you crying for? What's your problem? There's nobody here. What do you see? And that right away I picked up on it. I'm like, oh my God, that's my ego. And that's a deep, deep, deep seated subconscious ego that came from somewhere, I don't know where, but that's kind of my evolution with ego and really being present and picking up on the little cues of it. That's what awesome. That's what mine was.
Yeah. So ego has lots of forms. I also realize when we feel good, when we feel bad, it's not a bad type of ego, it's another type of ego, but we're not going to talk about that today. I think narcissism comes from the fact that we all want to talk about what we know. Before it used to be about world news. We want to be aware of what's happening in the world. Now people don't care as much. Now people care more about eating healthy, vegan food. I'm vegetarian, by the way. and about good things, positive things, because the culture has shifted. So narcissism comes from the fact that I also know about it, I also can talk about it. The fact that we have commercialized spirituality, it can be commercialized. Some things you have to put in hard work. It could take you like 10 seconds really, but we have to realize, you have to feel it in your heart. If you don't feel it, nobody can teach you that. And I think when you go through tough times, it really makes you stronger because you have to battle it. Your biggest enemy is you, and your best friend is also you. So you're in a competition with yourself, and you're also your best support. And so when you talk about these things, being positive, being negative, really test it. when things go bad, when you slip and fall, when you get into an accident, when things don't go right, if you're running a business and things are bad and you have no hope, I think that's the true time when you can see whether I am calm or I am freaking out. I call this practical spirituality. Spirituality should be taken from the knowledge and a conceptual topic to really applying it to your life. Do you only feel spiritual when you're meditating or when you're at the beach here or doing something good? You should feel that way all the time, all day, all night, whether you're meditating or not. So I don't do this sitting down meditation. I've never done it. I've done it different ways, but what I've learned is you take that, what you learn, that charge you get from your worship or your meditation, and it should live through you. When people meet you, you shouldn't have to tell them that you're spiritual or not. They should pick up on it.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who talk about spirituality? What should they do?
I think it's very important, like you just said, to feel it. That's the biggest thing. And actually, just quickly, after my husband passed away, it's been a decade, I remember that my doctor tried to give me antidepressant pills and Ativan, like things to suppress me completely, my mind. And I remember sitting there, and I don't even know why, because at the time I wasn't sleeping, I was in bad shape, and I said, no, I think I'm gonna walk through this. And I did not take anything. And for me, that still wasn't the shift, but what that did do was it started making me pray and believe in something else, that something else was out there. So in that journey itself, I had to feel. I felt that pain, and sometimes it debilitated me, and other days I was in pain, but I still came to the beach. So it didn't matter where I was in the pain, I felt it, and I walked through it. And today, when I look back, I can see, this might sound so crazy, but I can see my husband had to go. I can see why this has happened, because I wouldn't be me, who I am now, if he was still here. We would be in the rat race, we would be living our life the way we lived it. And that's what, I think that's, to me, that's what spirituality gives you, is when you feel the pain, you feel the hurt, you feel the loss, you feel the love, and you feel the happiness, you then become, you can see the good and the ugly too.
Yeah, that's what life is. We don't know why things happen, but sometimes bad things happen. Losing people is the hardest thing for anybody to go through. And when bad things happen, we shouldn't question why that happened. We should accept the reality that it happened, and what should I do now? So whatever you do with that bad situation, that will really make you a better person. We are spiritually dead until we really connect to our spirit and rise above this material world and we see things from a different light. Like, I don't even see things how I used to see them 10 years ago. It really changes you. And after that, the love, you don't force people to love you. My personally, I believe in, I don't expect people to, I don't have any expectation for people, loyalty, trust, that kind of stuff. I treat people as they are. If they do something wrong and that doesn't connect with me, I choose not to be around those people. Plain and simple. My feelings don't get hurt. So that's how it made me strong to really accept people. The people will do things what will serve them. You come second. So when you accept that, you really know reality of people, but then you can't get mad at them either. You just know how you can stay in control about yourself. So when you really don't know what spirituality is about, like, nobody really knows, nobody can define it, you can only feel it. I can't share it to you, she can't teach it. I would say what you talk about, really feel it. We say feel it in our heart. Our mind is right here that makes all the decision. That's our brain. Our mind is throughout our body. Our consciousness can't be defined in one place. So feel it in your mind and really become what you speak of. And then you will really realize what it is all about. Any last advice for our friends here?
know. If you guys like our collab, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and let us know if you wanted us to do more videos together. I've had fun.
Lots of likes and shares because we really, our ego boosts when you get lots of likes and shares. Take care.
Yeah.